Guys, it's Romie here. So this is the recap for Family Therapy with Dr. Jenn, Season 1, Episode 9, Money Problems. The episode actually starts off with Bam. Bam is the center of attention right now because, of course, Bam's doing very well in his recovery. And Dr. Conti goes and speaks with him because Bam went and really wrecked the Smash House last episode, in the prior episode. And they, Dr. Conti and, of course, Dr. Jenn just wanted to make sure that Bam really took away something from the Smash House, and he did. Bam focused on his addiction. He focused on the fact that he has, of course, a drinking problem, and so that's what really pissed him off, because it ruined his life and really just put him in the holding pattern for all these years. So now he's taking the steps to move on, so they're like really proud of him, and they were even making comments about how, you know, when someone's an alcoholic, they even make excuses to drink. It's like, oh, it's Thursday. He was like, Dr. Conti was saying how he had a friend who actually went as far as to be like, you know what, oh, dude, it's Thursday. I was like, so? It's like, yeah, Thirsty Thursdays. It was just like any little thing to get a drink. And Bam was like, yeah, of course. You know, won the hockey game, let's go out for drinks. We lost the hockey game, let's drown our sorrows with some drinks. So they bonded over that, so that was cool. And even Sister Patterson, and this is why you call her Sister Patterson and not Michelle, because Sister Patterson went and consoled Bam. Well, when I say consoled, she prayed with him, and Bam isn't really a spiritual person, but of course he's like, you know what, anything that can help me at this point. And at least he was open and receptive to that. And he really took, I mean, Sister Patterson was very emotional. I think it was just, I forgot what it was. It was a very simple prayer. And she, you know, gave him a hug and rubbed him. She was just like, I'm so proud of him because he's definitely a beautiful person inside and out. And I sense it, I feel it. You, when you get out of here, this is the person you were meant to be. Don't go back to your old ways, type of thing. Without saying that, I mean, she was just so proud of him, so happy. And I'm like, this is the Sister Patterson that we've been waiting for. We've been seeing glimpses of her, but I'm like, see. And then she goes into something else later in the episode to just derail that. Well, really more so next episode. But I mean, he was crying, she was crying, because it was very powerful. It really was. Prayer definitely works. Damon and Bobby are talking, and Damon and Bobby are actually trying to build upon their relationship as brothers. And so first they have to get used to the concept of being around each other and actually liking to be around each other, being comfortable just to talk and say whatever, and it not become an argument or an issue. Because that's crazy that you have someone that you love, and every time you're around them, something gets brought up, nothing. And the main thing with them is money. Money is the main issue. Money, working, what someone sees as success is another person sees as success, trying hard, putting in effort, putting in work. So now it's group time. It's group time, and they bring in this financial expert to go and help them out. And she has some simple question. Do you guys, have you ever made a financial mistake? And so pretty much everyone raises their hand except for Sister Patterson. Except for Sister Patterson. And then it was just like, well, you know, part of that issue is, were you really taught to handle money? Like, how was that conversation growing up? And New York talks about how, you know what, I love my mom, I love her to death, but she's the type that will go into a mall and just spend, and not really think about it. And I think what New York, and what Tiffany, why do I want to call her New York so bad? What Tiffany was trying to get at was that Tiffany just wanted her mom to understand that spending and buying things, that's cute for the moment, but what about investing and saving your money? And I guess she's saying her mom, clearly her mom is doing the right things as far as paying the bills and all that, but maybe that investing and saving factor isn't something that's been ingrained into her, which is weird because New York then elaborates on she did gain that foundation of investing and saving because her grandmother would give her $10. Her grandmother would give her $10 like every week or every 2 weeks, and she would say, you can spend what was it? You can spend $4 and you put the $6 away. And that was when she was a little kid. I mean, she was probably in first grade, maybe at most, or something like that. And so she would go and see over time how her money would stack up. And just that principle of saving it and then having this great return later on, she was still able to spend some money on the things that she wanted and needed. But she wasn't going and just blowing it like, all right, I'm going to the candy shop, buying everything that you got type of thing. No. And so there was that. Michael talked about the fact that he worked on Wall Street, and of course Dina could actually contest to that, and was saying, yeah, exactly, it was a roller coaster. $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, literally one day. The other day, lose $20,000, lose $40,000. That's how it was every single day, and so it was very stressful type of environment. And he was even saying how, you know what? I had to acknowledge the fact that I did use money to control her. I used money to control her and to control my family. I was like, okay, so you want this, you want to do this, you want to do that? Well, guess what? That's only going to happen if... Shout out how clear this arm is now. Shout out to that. Damn. But, oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, by the way. I always forget to say that in the beginning of the videos. He was just saying how... even when we got divorced, like while we were married, I used money to control her and the family. Even when we got divorced, I held out on paying child support and all of that. Not because I wanted to neglect my kids, but again, it was a way to control the situation. It was always a means of control, and I acknowledge that. So here's the thing with Michael. I appreciate the fact that he is slowly but surely really digging deep and just owning up to his mistakes. Because originally he wanted Dina to do the same, but now he's just doing it, period. And so that's how it works. That's how therapy works. You have to be willing to just put your stuff out there, and if the other person wants to take it and accept it and receive it, then that's fine. If they don't, then that's on them. But Dina isn't doing the same, and Dr. Jenn's over it. Dr. Jenn is so over it right now. Next, we get to Bam, the financial planner analyst, was saying, you know, you're smiling at me, so let me just go to you. Oh, I know there's something there. I know there's something there. Bam's just like, look, I do not understand the concept of money, period. Because I make money. Apparently, I make a lot of money. I don't ever see the checks. I don't ever see also the bills either. I don't see when I go and I wreck a hotel room. I literally destroy hotel rooms, just threw paint all over hotel rooms because I was drunk and bored. Destroyed things, safety deposit all over the place, and you know who would go and pick it up? She would. She would handle everything, so I have no idea. I don't understand the concept of responsibility as it pertains to money, which is very important. That explains so much as far as Bam's concerned. Now, I will say this. I do believe that April has, in the past, tried to instill and ingrain the fact to Bam that, you know what, you can't be doing this because this is how much you're spending. This is what's going on. But April was upset because Michael was chiming in and saying how, well, you know what, April, you and your husband, the fact that you guys are really just taking care of everything for him, including money, is the reason why he's in this situation. He's crying out to the fact, I've never seen him this emotional before. He's crying out to the fact that he wants to see his finances. He's to know and see that slip that, you know what, maybe if I actually saw how it was effing up, then I would take it seriously. Because if someone's saying, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You're wrecking your life. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. But you're not actually seeing it for yourself. Then this is like, yeah, whatever. I'm still going to be fine tomorrow type of mentality. And forget about today. Tomorrow is uncertain, and somehow I'll still make it because I have these two people doing whatever it is that they need to do to make sure that the finances are still well. So shout out to April, though, for getting great financial planners, apparently, that didn't screw them over or Bam over either. And I think that's why April got mad, because she was, I think she was coming from that place of a parent where, you know what happens sometimes, where sometimes parents will go and they'll be in charge of their kids' finances and they'll steal from them. They'll do some crazy accounting stuff or even splurge and all of that. But she wanted to make it clear that, no, this is not the case. He's the one spending all of his money. We're doing everything we can to make sure that that doesn't happen. But if he's going to go and wreck this one place or buy this, he literally, for one trip, one time, went and bought 5, had to reschedule his flight. No, not reschedule, had to go and pay for 5 new flights because he just kept missing them. he wouldn't call ahead to go and say he wasn't going to be there to get a portion of his deposit back. That's the real issue, because money is no object in his mind. It's just like he does whatever he wants and it'll be handled. That's not realistic. So I'm glad that they're going to go. And April, again, like I said, she just wanted to make sure that, you know, he's present now. So of course he wants to know when he's in his modes. You can't tell him anything. And I understand that. And Michael's telling Bam as well that, of course, you're a grown-ass man. Why aren't you in charge or even know about your finances? That's ridiculous. That's sad. That's crazy. I know it wasn't malicious, but you do need to stand up for yourself and have them stop treating you like a kid, because that's not going to help you at all. And Michael talks with April. No, Michael talks to Dr. Jenn, because it's time for Dr. Jenn, Michael, and Dina to have a conversation. Essentially, here's how the whole thing went. Michael continued to confess the things that he's done in the past, with, of course, being abusive emotionally and physically to Dina in the past, and even trying to do everything he can to control her. And Michael still has a thing for Dina. It's very apparent. Dina, I think she's emotionally attached to Michael. I don't know if relationship-wise, even though I did hear that they might be getting back together. I don't know. As long as they're both sane, drug-free, then we're cool. We're good. Aside from that, Dr. Jenn got pissed because Dina, of course, is still in La La Land. Dina fully believes that she's putting in the work necessary to create a positive environment for her kids and for her relationship with Michael. And Dr. Jenn was like, I'm going to have to call BS on that. I'm going to have to call BS on that because you're not doing anything to progress yourself, to take accountability. And I'm not saying it has to be what he thinks you did wrong. I'm saying it has to be something that you know that you did wrong within the marriage, just in general. I know he was crazy. I know that. I understand that. But you weren't perfect, so let's stop acting like it. So, of course, Dina's just like, yeah, whatever type of thing. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Dr. Jen's just like, I have my work cut out for me when it comes to you. I know it. And now it's Damon's turn to go and get therapy. Damon's going to go and get talk with Dr. Conti. And here's how it goes. Damon initially wasn't receptive because Damon has this whole concept of everything is black and white. Everything is black and white. There is no gray. There is no in between. So because of that, it's either I see where you're coming from or I don't see where you're coming from at all. And if I don't see where you're coming from, if I really don't see where you're coming from, then I don't care. Then it's not important. Then it's my way or the highway. Then I'm not listening to you. Dr. Conti was just like, here's the thing. Those are your brothers. You love them. And yet you're not listening to their point of view and accepting the fact that maybe you don't agree with what they have to say. And that's okay. Just like they don't have to agree with your advice. And you don't have to give them your advice. You can let them be who they are and accept them for who they are. That is very important. And New York, Tiffany had the moment. Oh yeah, and he talked to his brothers, and really not Bobby, but more so Jeremy. It was the situation of Damon always loved Jeremy, but he felt a certain way because of their father. Their mutual father actually, pretty much by the time Damon was 10 years old, said that, you know what, I'm out of your life type of thing. Literally, out of my life, pretty much. And he put all of his love, affection, and attention into Jeremy, his younger brother. And so Damon didn't feel a grudge towards Jeremy, but he did feel a certain way about, I guess, how Jeremy grew up versus him. And so maybe that's why he doesn't tolerate when he feels like Jeremy's giving him excuses or things of that nature. So they all ring it in because it's just like, from now on, we're going to agree to at least hear each other out and accept the fact that we're all different and we see things differently. And that's okay. That is okay. Tiffany has a moment with Damon and Jeremy and Bobby because she's like, I feel like I can learn a lot from you guys. You guys really seem to be progressing. And I know my mom is too. And they're like, yeah, it definitely is, because she loves you. It's very apparent. And she is slowly getting better. It's like, yeah, you know I can definitely learn a lot from you guys. Bring it in. I'm sure Tiffany, that whole thing was really just to go, and it was just like, damn it, she needs some type of affection from some men right now. I'm sure that's what that really was. So everyone gets a night out, another night out, and they go to this comedy bar, and you have this short guy wearing a suit, and he's just clowning them. And so April gets up there. April gets up there first. This is open mic night. Everyone was shocked, especially Bam. He was just like, you know, shout out to my mom, because April was just like, you know, I forgot what the joke was, but it had to do with Bam, and essentially it was just like, you know, Bam's a lot of things, and he forgets to do a lot of things, or not be able to do a lot of things, but one thing he won't forget is our number, or something like that. I know I screwed it up. Bam said some jokes, or he was just talking about how his life and how crazy it is, and in some cases that's a joke in itself, you know, prior, not now. We're good now. We're good now. And next, the comedian was really going at Damon, and Jeremy was just like, Lord Jesus, how long is it going to be before Damon says something? Damon finally gets up, and Damon was just clowning this comedian. Damon was clowning this comedian. Not only that, and then at one point the comedian looked a little afraid, like, oh. Because Damon was just like, you're not going to come after my family, you're not going to come after me, you're not going to come after the rest of us, because at the end of the day, what we have is that we're working on our stuff. We're a mess. We're masterpieces in progress. And so, regardless of how you feel or what you think, we're family. We're doing what we need to do to get better. And so that's that. And so it was just like, oh, that's a nice little moment. That's a nice little moment. And then we get back to the foolery. We get back to the foolery because now it's Bam's turn to have a one-on-one with Dr. Jenn and his parents. So Bam and his mother and his father are there. They're all there. And here's the thing. Dr. Jenn quickly realizes that April isn't the super, what is it called? Enabler. Bam's father is. What's his name? Jim? I forgot what his name is. He's truly the biggest enabler on the world as far as in Bam's life. And it's a huge issue because the thing was, Bam was actually abusive to him when he was drunk at times. And so both of them, what they try to do is they try to just, you know, walk on eggshells. They don't want to get him mad. They don't want to do anything to piss him off. And you're his parents. So I don't care if he's upset. You need to do whatever you need to do to make sure that your son lives. And enabling him was going to kill him. Enabling Bam was going to kill him. And Dr. Jenn had to make that very clear. You thought you were doing what was best, but you were helping put him in the grave, and you didn't realize that. Part of it is he just wasn't aware of certain things. Like Bam was traumatized by the whole going to that spooky road and, you know, telling the kids the story of every time they hear something hit the roof of the car, it's actually a dead body. I'm like, what type of mess is that? What type of mess is that? And he thought it was funny. He didn't realize that it really terrified and petrified Bam. Because really think about it. Kids have crazy imaginations. So imagine a little kid being in the car and all you hear is boom. And every time that happens, that's someone's dead body hitting the car. Like what? And so, of course, he felt bad for that. He really felt bad. His father felt bad for that because he didn't realize that it was that traumatizing. Along with that, also, he likes to laugh a lot at serious stuff. And that's his way of coping with conflict and with issues. And so he had his aha moment. And he realized, oh crap, you're right. He didn't realize that he did that. And so, I mean, I wish he was in the house too, because Dr. Jenn maybe needs a couple more sessions with him. That was it. Next week's going to be lit because Sister Patterson's brother's coming in town, and it looks like her brother isn't having it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week.